Hi BookTube, I'm here with my January wrap-up. So in January I read 6 books. I'm very happy about that. I read Unbroken, Mall Lockdown, The Sound and the Fury, Before I Go to Sleep, Stone Arabia, and That Dead Man Dance. I had 10 books that I wanted to read from at the beginning of January, but I'm really glad that I managed to get 6. I knew I wasn't going to read all 10. They were just kind of there as options. I did do separate reviews of Unbroken and Mall Lockdown, and I will be doing a separate review of That Dead Man Dance. So I won't be talking too much about those in this video. Some of the other books I read include The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. I can't say too much about this book. I did enjoy it. I really liked the way that he played around with time, especially in the first part where you're just jumping, you know, in this man's mind from one time to another, because he'll remember something and it will take him to another event, and then he'll jump back and forth, and you kind of get disoriented until you start to recognize, you know, who the characters are in the scene and at what stage in the timeline they are at. Yeah, it's a classic novel. I recommend it if you're looking for a novel that is experimental and that challenges you. Then I also read Stone Arabia by Dana Spiotta. I won't be doing a separate review of this, but it is a really good book. I really liked that the overarching theme kind of played into everything. The overarching theme is memory, and you do get some, like, obvious mentions of memory. I mean, the main character is obsessed with not losing her memory, and obsessed with learning about how memory works. And then her mother has Alzheimer's. But then you kind of get this thing where her brother, who's the other main character, creates false memories. So I really like that play with memory and the different aspects of it in this novel. I lost the cover already. I do that with all my hardcover books. Then I read Before I Go to Sleep. Probably won't be doing a separate video on that. It's a really good book, but there's not like a lot to say about it. It's more of those kind of like gripping book of, you know, mystery kind of thriller type book, where this woman has amnesia, and every day she wakes up and she can't remember the day before, and then she starts keeping a journal and starts to realize that, you know, her husband is starting to lie to her about certain things. I recommend this book if you enjoyed Gone Girl, and the thrilling and the kind of husband-wife relationship there. I definitely recommend Before I Go to Sleep. It's by S.J. Watson. It was made into a movie with Nicole Kidman. I couldn't watch it because it was so very different from the novel, right with the get-go, and I really didn't care to see how they were going to play with it. But if you want to watch the movie, I mean, go ahead, don't let me tell you what to do. That Dead Man Dance is the Australian book that I read. It is the first Australian book that I've read, and I have to say that it is a very, very good book. It is actually my favorite book of the month. I want to do a discussion video on this because I think it is very similar to, it's all the way over on that shelf, The Orenda, which I know is a very popular book from last year. It was the winner of Canada Reads, and they're very similar in that there's it's about first contact between Aboriginals and European settlers. But this was a truly beautifully written book. The characters just really stuck with me even after I stopped, you know, even after I was finished reading it. I still thought about the characters, and I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce the main character's name, Wobbleginy. They make fun of everyone who can't say it, which is the white people, which, you know, makes sense, because if you're a white person reading it and you come across that name, you're like, and each time I read it, I said it differently. But anyways, that's a whole other video discussion that I'd like to talk about about this. I also started A Princess of Mars, which I'm reading for a course I am now taking about science fiction and fantasy. But I'll talk more about that in my February TBR. So that's what I did in January. I read quite a bit. So let me know down below what you read in January, if you've read any of these books and your thoughts on them, and remember to keep on reading. Hey, you might want to check out Pickle's Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and other social media links in the description bar underneath.